He thought money bought him clarity, until a blackout and a mop changed his view. The Whitman estate gleamed like glass and certainty. Crystal chandeliers, marble floors, a staff roster that ran like clockwork. In the top floor study, Richard Whitman, known in headlines as a mind that built empires and in the office as a man who trusted faces he recognized, scrolled through notes for a live charity gala he was hosting that night. The guest list read like a league of legacy. Investors, anchors, donors. Everything had to be flawless. Downstairs, Ashanti, everyone called her Ash, moved through the rooms with practiced hush. Her apron smelled faintly of lemon. Her hands knew the rhythm of careful work. Straighten, polish, fold, repeat. She'd come to the city with a promise. Keep her little brother in school, send his drawings home with a note that said, "I made it." Cleaning for the Whitmans paid the bills, but she carried more than brooms. She carried quiet competence, small rebellions of dignity, the kind you only notice if you look. When Richard announced who would run the event logistics, he named the PR head and a consultant he'd seen at charity galas before. People who fit the sheen of his brand. He didn't see Ash in his mental cast. To him, staff had roles, faces were background. He joked to a friend that night about brand fit, and the joke landed like a curtain between him and anyone who looked unlike his mirror. The rehearsals started like a choreography of confidence. Cameras, cue cards, teleprompter checks. Midway, the lights flickered, first a stutter, then death. A storm outside knocked a transformer. The estate fell into velvet black. The gala had to go on in 60 minutes, streaming to thousands. The PR team froze. The consultant muttered about cancellations. Richard's jaw clenched. His legacy, live and vulnerable, was on the line. Ash felt the shift like a chill underfoot. She'd seen worse power-outs in her old neighborhood. No signal, no soft landing. He tried to make a note of business. It came out softer. Ash didn't look surprised. She wiped her hands and met him with a clarity that had nothing to do with the chandeliers. "We all have roles to play," she replied. "But sometimes roles don't tell the whole truth." She gave him a small, honest smile. "You should have asked the staff what they knew." He swallowed memories of hires he'd made by comfort and image. He remembered meetings where he'd laughed about cultural fit without considering that he'd been defining culture by the same narrow mirror. For the first time, the template of his choices, who got the visibility, who got the trust, felt brittle. He imagined how many hidden saviors had stood in the shadows of his successes. Later, in his study, he opened a drawer and found an old photograph. His late mentor at a desk, flanked by assistants who looked nothing like the boardroom portraits now lining his walls. He'd admired that mentor's instincts, never noticing how his mentor had listened to everyone. The photograph felt like a missed lesson coming back. Richard did something he had not done in years. He walked into the staff room, where the rest of the team sat in tired clusters, and he addressed them without a PowerPoint, without a PR script. He said, plainly, "Tonight I saw something I hadn't been willing to see. I assumed talent was wrapped a certain way. I was wrong. I want to change how we do things here. Starting now." She kept her dignity. And somewhere inside a glass house, a billionaire sorted his papers with hands that felt a little less sure and a little more awake.